Get rich while young, that's actually the right way. It's more likely, right? Now it's just about trying to follow the flow of my thoughts. It's about the fact that if you start educating yourself earlier and somehow get involved in trading, you have more probability. The probability is again on your side, you know, because you have less experience. It can be said, well, they have less experience overall in life, but that doesn't limit you in trading, right? On the contrary, I think the older we get, the more cautious we become. We have more of those stereotypes, but not entirely good ones, right? So sometimes it's actually a disadvantage. The older we get, the harder it becomes for us. And today, if I had to retrain myself on a new platform at 50 years old, it would take me a really long time to get it into my routine, you know? I saw it with my parents. With any technology, I was just great. Another thing about the sponge, like when I was young or when I was younger, I learned significantly better. It wasn't like now getting anything under the skin is much, much harder because I've gathered a lot of information over my life. So learning these things in old age, I'm not old, but I think I'm on the verge of still being able to absorb new information and use it effectively and efficiently in some way. Soon, in the near future, it will turn and it will be different. I'll just be giving advice and no one will want it at this point in my life. But that's why I say, when you start, and I don't mean at 15, you know, please, we have to be 18 and so on. You can educate yourself at any age. Financial literacy is very important, and here financial literacy is significant. That's a lot. But trading itself, you know, that definitely means 18 and above, because when you're trading with money and dealing with money, it's not something like easy come, easy go. Or rather, it can be like that, and that's where the experience comes in. But when you start from a young age to develop some financial habits, like having some risk management, having some money management, and that serves to understand the principle, then life becomes easier for me. Yes, I also apply a lot of things that I learned from trading to my personal life, and for the better. Bringing all these positives from trading and discipline into personal life is great. Of course, there are many mistakes, but you already know what you're doing. You're no longer, as they say, a fool. You already know what you're doing. That means you're already capable of assessing the risk, I think, somewhat reasonably. I'm not saying always perfectly, but you already have some perspective. If you start focusing on it at an early age, you absorb it better and use it more effectively. You are much more flexible in using this. And in youth, it's nice. Even if you eventually decide that it won't be your path and you choose a different field, perhaps in finance, or you simply approach it differently, it's good to have the habits that are absolutely necessary for success in trading. And the market systematically educates you in this way. Whenever you try to escape somewhere, it educates you. If I had such habits at the age of 20 or 25, living my personal life would have been really significantly easier. And I also truly think that finances come hand in hand with it, you know. When I start being responsible and disciplined at 25, I have another 25, 30, 40, 50 years already starting from a good foundation, you know. Like in my younger years, they used to say, go into some sport, give you discipline there, they'll give you a system. I agree. Today, the world is a little different. Today, sports are definitely great as a start in general, and athletes are really the better traders because they have that discipline, they have those things, but sometimes they had to take it, sometimes they had to learn it, you know. So definitely doing sports is great. And if you're afraid of the ball and things like that, for example, I'm afraid of the ball, then not so much football. You won't see me on the football field, but behind the computer, yes. So in youth, if I learn to be disciplined, it can be revealed anywhere. And in Forex, in trading, it's absolutely perfect. Learn discipline, learn to handle money management, risk management, and money management from a young age. That means that's trading. It's not gambling. Many perceive it that way, but it's not gambling. For me, it's definitely not gambling. For me, it's an absolutely targeted activity. I know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how much I'm risking, how much I'm aiming to earn. It's an absolutely controlled activity. And if I had learned this in my youth, as early as possible, either I can succeed in trading, which is great. It's like a blast, or at least these things can help me in my future life by rooting in the basics. That means trading. If someone is going to dissuade young guys, I'm definitely not in favor of discouraging them. It's really something, when you look past the fact that no one exactly views it as legitimate, like it's discredited and that there are only scammers and it's just like hustling and I don't know, crypto and so on. Why not? I've experienced it. I have personal experience with many young people. Young guys came for maybe 2 weeks, for a month, or repeatedly in various ways. Every year they came to us for some education. And today those guys find crypto closer to them than Forex. I understand that, but they beautifully pay for their vacation, beautifully pay for their first car and so on, and they have it. But you can tell from those guys, they come and you can immediately tell where the interest is, who will sleep through the lecture, my explanation, who won't, who is interested, who will come to be interested afterward. And those are exactly the people who will then buy that car. But there were more of those people. Yeah, I have a larger sample, and not everyone bought the car, A lot of people are doing manual labor and so on. They don't refer to this work at all, but it just wasn't only for them, So getting rich young, as I say, it goes hand in hand. It is possible if I start early systematically, and it's like with everything, if I start saving for retirement and start young, then I really have decent money for retirement. I start young with it because if you calculate it like this, then you are really well secured for retirement and you don't have to rely on the state. But the truth is, it's a topic that's been repeated 1,000 times. Sure, I understand, but it's true. But no one has looked at it from the perspective of trading. It's the same, and there are many extras. In investing, discipline is necessary, but it's a fraction. It's about regularity. I keep going, continue, it's going well or not. Some months smoothly, but some months struggles. So I have to incorporate that discipline. I understand that. It's a bit different here. Here, the discipline is much, much broader, deeper, and it significantly affects the person as such. Simply put, a person with discipline behaves a bit differently even in real life, not just in trading. So getting rich young, as I say, it definitely goes hand in hand. So the sooner I start, I don't know, at 30, if I started at 25, and at 30 it was already after those 5 years, that would probably be a nicer life. I admit that would be a nice life. Take care.